ready for caucus on my day. Cheer it out for Biden.
So 2016 caucus was my first experience. I was very excited, I was very fired up, but I was not prepared. I have multiple sclerosis and I was diagnosed in 2004. I cannot stand more than 1 to 3 minutes because of my MS, and just the line to get in the door was an hour and a half. And then when we got into the auditorium, there was no seating. I did not get home till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And while it was thrilling and exciting, I had no idea how physically demanding it would be.
The environment is a little bit raucous and can be confining in some ways.
There are people who experience multiple barriers to caucusing because of a disability. Those can be physical barriers, those can be sensory-related barriers, transportation. My own personal experience caucusing in 2016, I'm on the autism spectrum, and so my caucus site was very active. There were a lot of people and it was very loud. It was incredibly overstimulating for me. I know of people that, because of overstimulation or lack of physical accessibility, have had to turn around and leave their caucus site before they were able to complete the process.
At the end of the summer in 2019, I started making calls to the local Democratic Party, like Polk County Democrats, and then I tried calling the state party as a whole. My calls were not returned. There didn't seem to be any overwhelming statewide accessibility plans in place. I would like to see the process be just easier, like not to have that stress.
I have been in communication with many people who are frustrated, have been frustrated with their interactions with the party as they pertain to their accommodation requests, and to the point of where a few folks have indicated that they're not going to caucus. So we are at CISL are hosting a satellite caucus, and we're calling it an inclusive and accessible satellite caucus. We really hope that by hosting this satellite caucus, we can continue to shift the narrative so that disabled people are at the core of political conversations. Overwhelming evidence shows that caucusing is always going to exclude people. And so we feel that a primary process would be a more inclusive process, not only for disabled people, but all of the other populations that experience barriers to caucusing. For us to say we're going to continue with this because it's part of our tradition, I think is, to put it bluntly, irresponsible of us.
I think in past years in the caucus process, having a disability plan was definitely something that was overlooked. I really believe the candidates are now starting to see that the disability vote is a critical vote for them to make a difference in their candidacy.
Every single person in this country knows someone either in their family or an employee or a coworker or a friend that has a disability, has a chronic disease. And you know, we're a huge portion of the population. And that's one thing when I think about voting and accessibility in this caucus process, like, we are a very large group of people. And I know that candidates like to talk about us and, you know, talk about things that affect us. But at the end of the day, if we cannot participate in the process, then there's a huge amount of us being left out.